Welcome to PL Podcast with Greater Sudbury's poet laureate Vera Constantineau.
Hi, I'm Vera, 6th Poet Laureate of Greater Sudbury. Welcome to the first episode of PL Pod, a podcast that I hope will wear many hats. It's my plan to introduce you to the writing of creative people from our region, from our province, and from our country. In the spirit of truth, I will occasionally add writers from other countries too, because although we are living in a bubble right now, the world is really our bubble. I'm new to this position, still finding my feet in a technical world. Expect screw-ups. But with regard to poetry and connection to the community, I have been involved for years. I am indebted to the previous laureates for their example, and I appreciate their encouragement and support as I take on this role. Roger Nash, Daniel Aubin, Thomas Leduc, Kim Fauner, and Chloe Laduchesse, I bow to you today. I am primarily a haiku and senryu poet. In coming months, I look forward to sharing my writing with you as well as the writing of others. In addition to poetry, I am a short fiction writer and a creative nonfiction writer. I've also written humor, which I enjoy, and I think my love of humor is one of the reasons I like senryu so much. It's tongue-in-cheek, a sharp little bite into reality, sometimes from a humorous perspective, but always from an emotional perspective. Senryu is the observation of nature of humans, as opposed to haiku, which is the observation of nature in the outdoor sense. I'd like to start by reading a selection of my own poetry because that's what is available to me, and I'm in the same situation as all of you. I am isolating myself for safety from COVID-19 virus. So do stay safe, do stay at home. Be safe. These are some senryu and haiku that have been published in various journals and magazines. From Bottle Rockets, published out of Windsor, Connecticut by Stanford Forrester, who I'm happy to say edited my new chapbook, the title of which is 3 Lines at a Time. There are these two. Hospital Common Room. Hot tea, biscuits, stale conversation. Nursing home. She doesn't know me. Did she ever? From Sulphur magazine, Sulphur journal, I should say. Seniors menu. Our age difference finally matters. From Haiku Canada Anthology, and also published on Notes from the Guian. Breast exam day. Lumps in the mashed potatoes. Again from Sulphur. Unfulfilled dreams. I tie her bonnet strings tighter. Hockey finals. No parking space for the poetry reading. Late frost. Early roses hang their heads. Moonlight through slats. I shift position to change my stripes. Winter frost. Grandma passes hugs and hard candy. The writing of haiku and senryu may seem simple, but it's a thoughtful process, and it took me almost 5 years to write my first haiku, just for your information. This poem, Dear Sudbury, is from Tara North Nord, available to be read online at the Greater Sudbury Library website. Tara North e-zine was created by the inaugural Poet Laureate of Sudbury, Roger Nash. I love to go back and read the various episodes of it. Not episodes, versions. Whatever it's called. This would be that technical screw-up I was talking about. This poem is called Dear Sudbury. Why can't I say that I've loved you since birth? That on the day I was taken from you to live in a place others called idyllic, I never fit the way I did with you. That place gave me shelter, family, and friends, and yet I spent years of summer evenings staring down Highway 6, planning my return. At 18, when I again walked down Elm Street, not one person recognized my face. You gave me the freedom, the anonymity, to grow into who I am. Time to mature, time to mine my own metal. Today I know in my bones that leaving you would create a hole in my core equaling any cavern shaped in your basin. I was born of rock dust, sulfur fumes, and tears. The hot slag that pours through me has hardened into words I can say with love. I am stardust in your summer night, and I belong to you. I feel like I do belong here in Greater Sudbury. We have a great population of creative people in the city. I encourage others to write, sometimes in conversation and also by leading groups that offer the opportunity to examine your ideas to see if they can expand into story or poetry. Whether it's memoir or fiction, poetry or creative nonfiction that we turn it into, we all live one story, don't we? So we all have the ability to write our own story. This next poem, A Sudbury Sunday Morning, was published in Sulphur, the literary journal of the English Art Society of Laurentian University. It's called A Sudbury Sunday Morning. The salt tears of a fervent Saturday night have settled into faint white veins running down my cheeks. I am a dark beer warrior. Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry. Since Stompin' Tom's statue was erected downtown, I catch myself wondering what he would say if he saw us now. Nothing like a Saturday night to animate a dry soul. Nothing like a pop-up forest to hide the blackened rock. Never mind about bingo time, that part was fully true. Philosophizing was Tom's way. Like, if a tavern night didn't go just right, he'd go out and buy another square of plywood, slap it down on the floor, and go about making his fortune one solid kick at a time. I wonder, was he ever nervous? Not to my mind, not ever. That Tom, he had confidence. Me, not on this Sunday. I'm 5 shades lighter than emerald, lying still, and the bearded miner stealing the sheets beside me, he's still dreaming of mucking out there in the reaches. He's dreaming of the mine shaft that's rising like a blaming finger on the landscape. It's the difference between a prune and a plum, that honey hole in a new green park. Though we're all becoming accustomed to trees popping up. I wonder here in our regreened world how many Sudbury Sunday mornings I have left. I hope one more, and one more, and... I had the pleasure of seeing Stomping Tom in concert a few times. My connection to him was strengthened when my sister married a man who was from Prince Edward Island. Life is filled with circles. As I said at the beginning of this podcast, I am new to the position of Poet Laureate. If you have questions for me, I am available through the Sudbury Library webpage, and I am also on Twitter and Instagram. Until next time, it's Vera. Goodbye.